When I was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis at age 11, the doctors told my parents, "You're lucky if your son makes it till his 18th birthday."
Jerry Cahill was already living on borrowed time. Cystic fibrosis is a genetic defect that prevents the body from clearing secretions, clogging up the lungs with mucus and destroying them over time. Without a lung transplant, the average age of survival today is 37, which is far better than it was 10 years ago. But Jerry is 56.
You know, initially when I was diagnosed, my mother wanted to put me in a bubble.
But Jerry's dad had other plans for his fourth son.
And he thought, well, if Jerry's not going to be here that long, then I want him to be with his brothers and stay active. You know, we really weren't thinking about CF. It was just about me being happy, being with my brothers and playing sports.
After half-hearted attempts at football and baseball, Jerry became a standout in pole vaulting, where the only limit to how high he could go was himself. And according to his longtime physician, that has never been a hurdle.
Jerry's will to live and desire to live life to its fullest. I mean, I've known Jerry for over 10 years. Because he was able to just work through it and exercise and maximize his body, he's delayed it and sort of pushed off the ravages of CF.
His dad may not have realized it, but sports and exercise were his son's salvation in more ways than one.
Jerry wouldn't be where he is today without that exercise and push.
But not even Jerry's self-chronicled regimen of running, weightlifting, and biking, not to mention the endless medications and nebulizers and bronchodilators to clear his lungs, could stave off cystic fibrosis forever. Last year, his condition became dire.
But their concern was that if I get an infection, I may not have the reserve to really fight it. So they said, it's time, you've got to do the transplant.
Jerry was prepped for potential lung transplant surgery on 5 separate occasions before a healthy, compatible set of lungs was located, Jerry's lifeline.
Dr. Sonnet was there, and he said, "How you doing? How does it feel?" And I said to him, "I think they're too big." He's like, "What?" I said, "I think the lungs too big. The lungs are too big. I think you stuffed them in there."
They weren't too big. Jerry just wasn't used to having fully functioning lungs.
So Jerry's body has CF, but his lungs, which have different DNA and genetics than him, no longer has CF. So his lungs will never have cystic fibrosis.
Only 3 months after transplant surgery, Jerry met up with Dr. Sonnet for a 10K run to benefit the Boomer Esiason Foundation, an organization dedicated to finding a cure for cystic fibrosis. Jerry said the race would be his way of saying thank you to the donor that he will never know.
I'm not out of the woods by any means. You know, I'm thankful for each day, and every day that I have is a gift.
With high school students who he coaches in pole vaulting by his side, Jerry crossed the finish line, smiling and barely out of breath. With Everyday Health, I'm Stephanie Tsai.